You know, I try not to let a shoe's aesthetics and colorway determine the likelihood that I will like and enjoy the shoe, but I mean, come on, can you go wrong with that? It's like a sunrise on my feet. It's wonderful. Good morning, See Chad Run here. You've got to check out these new trails. I've never been on these trails before. They're brand new, put in by the state. They are absolutely gorgeous, running along Horsetooth Reservoir in northern Colorado. Just a beautiful trail on this beautiful, gorgeous morning in a fairly beautiful shoe. I am talking about in this video the Craft Nordlite Ultra Pro, a pro gravel racing shoe for the everyday racer, and a shoe that I've enjoyed, although it's not perfect. But on this video, I am going to enjoy some single track trails, some groomed single track trail, some gravel roads, with the goal to share something informative and inspiring to you. So please consider subscribing, give the video a like, drop a comment down below. Let me know what craft shoes you've ran in or which ones you're interested in, and especially if you're interested in this shoe. I'm going to be talking about the overall build quality and the comfort, the performance, the value, and I'll compare it to a few other gravel racing shoes that are in a similar or the same category. But first, voiceover Chad, why don't you tell us about some of the specs and features of the Craft Nordlite Ultra Pro? I got the name right, and I'm gonna enjoy these trails just a little bit more.
Craft states, Nordlite Ultra Pro, the gravel racer, is built for elite athletes and everyday runners chasing speed and responsive performance, making it an ideal choice for fast-paced gravel races like the Western States Endurance Run. As for some of those specs and features, you get a 2-layer TPU mesh upper, a padded mesh and gusseted tongue, CR Foam Pro midsole, which is 25% PIBA, Craft's Endurance Fit, Vittoria high traction rubber outsole inspired by the Barso mountain bike tire, estimated to have 3.5mm lug depth, 40.5mm heel and 34.5mm toe stack, and that stack includes the insole. For that 6mm drop, weighing in at 298 grams or 10.5 ounces in a men's US size 10 and a US MSRP of $190. I should also mention that Craft sent me this shoe for the purpose of review, but know that all thoughts and opinions are strictly my own, and all the B-roll footage that you're about to see was recorded after this run or after about 50 miles. So you're seeing the shoe in its true and current state. Chad, over to you on the trails.
Man, these trails are spectacular. This is so much fun. Woo! Loving this. Oh, so much fun. Totally worth running 7.5 miles to get to these trails. All right, let's jump into the review. I have ran about 40 miles in the shoe. It'll be closer to 50 miles by the time I'm done with this video and this run. Now jumping straight into build quality and comfort. First off with build quality. Craft built this shoe to do well on gravel roads and bust out, smoother single track trails. Kind of similar to this, although this does have a few small technical bits that you have to watch out for because it is a high stack shoe, 40mm in the heel, as you saw in the specs. So you do have to be careful about rolling your ankle. This shoe is not for technical trail running, although the outsole grip, and I'm going to start at the very bottom of the shoe, the outsole grip, that Vittoria grip, is phenomenal. High quality, good build, super grippy. More on that in performance. Moving up the shoe into that midsole, it is 25% PIBA. It is soft, it is bouncy, it is what we, the runners and the people want. Craft, you nailed it. Spot on. This midsole is amazing. It's comfortable. I feel like it's gonna last a long time, not go flat or dead on you anytime soon. And then moving up to the upper part of the shoe, you get a dual layer mesh upper. It is very durable, holds your foot very securely. However, when it comes to comfort, although the upper is better as far as fitment goes compared to Craft shoes of the past, I feel like Craft is finally starting to get it right. I do wish there was a little bit more room in the toe box. This is more of a narrow fitting shoe, even though it's considered their endurance fit, the same as the Explore Pro. So I like the fit around my ankle and the midfoot area, but in my toe box and the toes, I wish there was a little bit more room for my toes to kind of splay out. So what I'm noticing is that my big toe on the inside on both feet kind of rubs against the side of the inside of the shoe. On longer runs, it starts to get just a little sensitive. I don't think I've gotten any real blisters, but I have noticed a little bit of redness again on the inside of my big toe on both feet. I've also noticed that on downhill descents, my feet kind of get pushed or squoze up against the fabric on the inside of the shoe. So not the most comfortable in the toe box. I do like a narrow, slim, sporty fitting shoe, but I don't think Craft quite hit the nail on the head when it comes to fitment in the toe box. Everywhere else it's great. You get some really good padding in the heel. You get some nice padding on the tongue, which is gusseted, by the way, so it's not moving around. It does get held in place nicely. I don't feel the laces across the top of my foot because the tongue has some good padding in there. I wish the padding was maybe not quite as thick, but a little bit more dense, but it's still very good and much better than their shoes of the past. So to kind of wrap all that up, the shoe is built specifically for gravel running and buffed out smooth single track or double track trails. Not good for technical trails because it is a higher stack and that midsole is fairly soft, so you get a little wobbly in the shoe. The upper is overall comfortable with the exception of that toe box. Okay, hope that all makes sense. I'm gonna give build quality a thumbs up. I'm gonna give overall comfort, because of the toe box, I'm gonna have to kind of go somewhere in between on the thumbs up, thumbs down rating. If you're looking for a wider fitting shoe, this is not going to be one to consider. Okay, I am ending the trail right now. Gonna be jumping back on the roads for just a moment and then some gravel roads. And then we can talk a little bit more about the performance of the Craft Nordlite Ultra Pro. So now let's get into the performance of the Nordlite Ultra Pro. First off, as you can see, I am running on some asphalt paved area, and despite the 3.5mm lugs on the outsole, that Victoria outsole, this asphalt and concrete for that matter, feels really smooth underfoot. Another thing that I really like about the shoe is that outsole grip. That Victoria grip, just so good. It grips everything. The other thing that I really like when it comes to performance is that the shoe has a nice rocker shape. So you just get a really smooth transition from heel or midfoot through toe off. I also really like the underfoot feel with that 25% PIBA midsole blend. It's soft and bouncy. It's rewarding. It just feels really good, and it helps encourage you to run smoothly, run fast. I just really like that rewarding underfoot feel. It's a great experience and performs quite well. I could see how they would tout this as a gravel racer, but I think you can absolutely use it for those everyday miles. Now, as mentioned earlier, this shoe is a high stack, just over 40mm in the heel. That's a lot of stack underfoot. Helps add to the comfort on more technical, uneven terrain. It does get a little high-centered, a little wobbly. There's a really nice secure hold on your heel and around the midfoot. Craft built the shoe with a lot of structural support with overlays, and the way that the fabric all comes together, really good support and hold around your foot. Again, that tongue is gusseted, helping to add to the feeling around the foot, and then helping to add to the overall performance of how the shoe just fits around your foot. The shoe does weigh in at nearly 300 grams, which is maybe on the ever so slightly heavy side, especially for a gravel racer. The shoe does not feel as heavy as it actually is on paper, but I do think that it could be just a little bit lighter. So overall performance is gonna get a thumbs up from me. I think if you're using this shoe for road to gentle trails, smooth trails, or dedicated gravel running, whether that's single track gravel, double track, or road gravel, kind of like this, I think it's gonna do spectacular. Just keep in mind, as mentioned earlier, that the toe box is a little narrow, and you may feel some rubbing on your big toe, at least if you're like me, that's what's happened. But other than that, performance is really good. I like the experience underfoot. It is very rewarding, whether you're just going casual or looking to pick up the pace and do something a little more tempo oriented. Let's talk about value, compare it to a few other gravel running shoes. But before we do that, let's get to the top of this little hill. Section's quite steep, but the Nordlite Ultra Pros encouraging me to keep going, to keep pushing. Whew. Whew, look at those views. Never gets old. Woo-hoo-hoo. So now talking about the value of the Nordlite Ultra Pro, and I want to compare it to some other gravel running shoes. US MSRP is $190. That is a lot of money to spend on a shoe, and I think the shoe is priced a little too high. I know they tout it as a pro level running shoe, gravel racer, and that's still a lot of money to pay. A couple shoes to compare it to: the Salomon Aeroglide Gravel, similar in stack, maybe a little bit heavier, also well built, but $160, so a tad cheaper. The VJ Flow, another great gravel runner with a little bit more gnarly lugs, good for road to trail running as well. $140, I believe, if I'm not mistaken. I think the Salomon is the better build between the Salomon and the VJ, but I prefer the agility and the lightweightness of the VJ Flow a lot. In fact, that's one reason why I really liked that shoe, although it doesn't offer quite as much structural support on the upper compared to the Salomon, or even compared to the Craft Nordlite Ultra Pro. Another one I recently reviewed on the channel, the Mount to Coast H1, a hybrid road to trail gravel running shoe, one that I really enjoyed, but it doesn't have nearly as much stack as the Nordlite Ultra Pro. That one comes in at about $160. So between those three shoes and the Craft Nordlite Ultra Pro, which one would I choose? If I had to choose one, I would choose the Mount to Coast H1 because it's significantly cheaper and just has a wonderful experience underfoot. Just a really good, well-built shoe. However, if you are looking for a shoe that offers a little bit more midsole stack underfoot, I would absolutely consider the Craft Nordlite Ultra Pro. And by the way, you don't have to use my affiliate links, but they are down in the pinned comment and the description below. If you're interested, use those affiliate links, including the ones to Craft's website. If you use those to buy your product, it goes to help give a little kickback and help the channel out a little bit. I would appreciate you checking those out. So coming back to value, I feel that $190 is a bit much to pay for the Nordlite Ultra Pro. Although I hesitate because it is a really well-built shoe, and I've enjoyed the experience in the shoe. It's very rewarding. a lot of fun to run in. That grip is outstanding, which is one area where the Mount DeCoste H1 kind of failed in my opinion, was the outsole grip. The grip in this shoe, oh, stunning. Really good secure hold around my foot. So if you're looking for a little bit more stack underfoot, something that offers that additional cushioning and bounce, then the Nordlite Ultra Pro is definitely the way to go. But if you're looking for something slightly lighter, a little more agile or nimble, then perhaps the Mount DeCoste H1 is the gravel shoe that you should choose. So I hope that makes sense. Let me know your thoughts. What have you been thinking about? What do you think of the Nordlite Ultra Pro? How do you think it compares to some of the other shoes that perhaps you've tried or are considering? I would love to just hear your thoughts, and if nothing else, just drop a comment down below and simply say hello. All right, I am going to get back to running because this is a Sea Chad run video, not a Sea Chad walk video. And I suppose I will see you on the next video. This has been so much fun. I'm so glad that you came here to join me on this run today, and of course checking out the review in the Craft Nordlite Ultra Pro. I will see you on the next video. Remember to be consistent, express gratitude, and enjoy every mile as I have today in the Craft Nordlite Ultra Pro. See you on the next video. Bye now. And if you didn't already gather, performance gets a thumbs up, value gets a thumbs down from me. Okay, now I can continue on enjoying the rest of this run and these beautiful views on this wonderful day in a pretty awesome shoe. Okay, see you on the next video. Bye now. Bye, 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 bye.